So welcome everybody to the day 2 of 12th Business IT Conclave of the Bengal Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Here's a very special session, Rebuilding the Nation, Right Technologies for MSMEs. With our great pleasure, we have Mr. Sanjay Kumar Das, Joint Secretary, Information Technology and Electronics Department of Government of West Bengal, with Mr. Sanjay Sen, Co-Chairperson of IT Committee, the Bengal Chamber of Commerce and Industry and Senior Vice President, ITC Infotech India Limited. We have a beautiful monsoon weather today in Kolkata, and Mr. Dash is here with a beautiful backdrop with the monsoon view in Kolkata today. With this, I would request Mr. Sanjay Sen to please take the session forward.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this fantastic session. And we are privileged to have Mr. Das with us. MSME, it's a key focus for all governments, and that's where the growth engine of today's India will come. Now, what we will discuss in the next 30 minutes is that how do we enable MSMEs? What are the things, what are the offerings we have, and what we can do for them? Mr. Das, if you can kindly take us through what are the government's initiatives, then we can have some interactive discussions, please.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sen, and thank you, Angana ma'am, and everybody around, and welcome to everybody, whosoever is seeing from wherever it is, across the globe, across the country, across the state of West Bengal, or in the city of Kolkata. You know, we are really privileged because we are right now at a juncture where we have no option but to fly. And in order to fly, we need to take off. And what is actually, stunting our growth is our ability or lack of ability to take off with a great pace. And that pace can only be given by the MSMEs, the small, micro and medium scale companies, as well as the startups. So, the very basic thing that is required for MSME to grow and to fuel the economy and the entire ecosystem all around us, and especially in the ITES sector, is the option to choose. They should be given an opportunity to choose from a plethora of services. They should not be forced, those facilities, impetus, incentives should not be forced through their, you can say, down their throat or something like that. Especially what is required is a specific need of each and every MSME has to be identified, and we need to actually cater to that. For example, West Bengal government has been understanding over the years that the cost of cloud, infrastructure used by MSME is not only a cost as far as money is concerned, a cost of, security is concerned. Because we know ease of use and security, they do not go hand in hand, but they are faces of the same coin. They do not see face to face. If you increase the ease of use, you will definitely compromise with the security. So what is happening with the new startups and MSMEs? They fall prey to the offerings of different cloud service providers. They say that we are offering this thing, that thing, and all. Definitely they offer, but there cannot be a free lunch. So definitely something is getting compromised. Either security of their, IPR is getting compromised, or something other than that is getting compromised. The whole world has come to know of the fact that free internet, free talk time, they actually prove to be, great bane for the society, because society has lost, very important information. Those information were collected, collated, analyzed, and sold across the world. So, my dear friends, MSMEs require secured cloud storage. And Government of West Bengal has opened up its, her state data center. And the state data center is a tier 3 data center. It is becoming tier 4 data center in the next few months. So this data center has been made open to the MSMEs and startups. Not only here I am speaking, even I went up to the BCCI's last physical convocation during the after the first pandemic phase, and I told there too. And during this intervening period, we have received 7 applications from 7 startups and MSMEs, and out of 7, 4 have been provided space, and remaining 3 they are undertaking security audit. Now coming back to the whole question is, what amount of service are we giving to these MSMEs? The answer is whatever requisition is there, number 1. Like a cloud service provider, we are opening up our state data center. And what is the cost? Cost is minuscule. That means only the service charges are given. Very basic, very minuscule. We have not computed it right now. For those 4, we have not computed. We are in the process of computing. We are trying to understand at what price we need not take at all, actually, or what minimum we can take it. So how to apply? Should we approach the joint secretary, the principal secretary, this, that? No, nothing. There's a very simple, portal available, West Bengal State Data Center. That is wbsdc.nltr.org. You go into that, click on the MSME startup, this radio button, and go into the whole process of it. Get yourself registered, get yourself approved, place your requisition, be given your requisition, and bingo, you are live. So just imagine what we are offering. Not only we are opening up our secured repository, not only we are giving you the entire support of cloud services, but we are giving you security that your codes and your informations are secured and no one under any circumstances can take it. So this is an incentive. We are not throwing to your, through you. We are offering it. So whosoever wants can take up. So similarly, there are n number of services like, if somebody requires some legal services, BCCI, government, other, companies, big companies with their CSR and all, we can come together. We can offer depending upon the basic necessity of legal services. Somebody wants to know how to register a company. One startup might not be knowing. What is the problem with that? We can help them. Somebody wants to understand how to file an IPR. We can help. These are the actually facilitation that we can take up. Not only here, we need to actually, give it a blanket, ideation of if I put it like this, whosoever has a knowledge gap or the critical knowledge gap, we can provide that collectively through crowdsourcing. So my dear friends and Dr. Sen, the government is actually trying to bring everybody through crowdsourcing and presenting this service as a service to the MSMEs and startups.
Mr. Das, one question. You are saying that your data center is secure. Data center can provide infrastructure. Do you also provide applications which MSMEs can use to start their businesses?
Coming to that, actually, MSMEs require different types of applications like e-commerce applications.
Yes.
Because they want to actually put their services to the world. If we consider the case of Karmabhumi, Karmabhumi is a skill registry which this department launched last year on 9th June through the hands of Honorable Chief Minister of West Bengal. Karmabhumi has a menu which is known as InstaJob. So whosoever has some job to offer, job means just like Fiverr, fiverr.com. Just if somebody has some applications or some products, ITS products, they can put it up just on sale like that, on that. And the whole world can get your details and talk to you. So we are developing Karmabhumi as a platform for such type of, not only the skilled resources job platform, also whatever, wares that we are creating, the tools that we are creating, we are putting it on offer. So the other way around, these applications and tools and all these things will be easily available for the MSMEs to actually, fuel their growth. If some MSME wants a very, cost-effective web application or a portal, they can put it up in that Karmabhumi. Like we want to create a portal under 15,000 rupees. So somebody would definitely give you a call, talk to you, and present you with an offer. If you are happy, you can go ahead. But if you actually go on scouting, who is going to actually provide you or these services of creating a web application or a portal under 15,000 rupees, I don't think you will find many around.
Absolutely. Another question, you said that you can provide a lot of knowledge gaps, maybe legal help, or maybe as like drafting a document. How do one get it? Is it say available in the same?
Yes, absolutely. Just like this thing, just like the SDC opening up, this is what we have been dabbling with. Actually, a couple of years back, on the basis of, you can say, an interaction with MSMEs and startups, we understood that this legal support is one of the critical supports required by the MSMEs and startups. So we wanted to actually empanel, law firms. So when we empaneled law firms and they offered their services, basic services through CSR, then what we got is the very renowned law firms. So when the requirements started coming from MSMEs and the startups, they were so basic that these law firms were not in a very good mood to actually cater to that. So what I am trying to, just egg everybody or enthuse everybody, including you, Dr. Sen, as well as Angola Madam, through every one of you, to BCCI and all around, that why don't we come together and create a platform where we can actually empanel huge number of such service providers, be it, they're like mentors. They will that mentees will be supported by different types of lawyers, professionals like you, remaining with ITC for such a long period of time. You can guide people up to what type of web application we are going onto, that people could be understanding that IRCTC, how they are actually, giving you this idea that your waiting list number 3 ticket will be actually converted into a, completely this confirmed ticket with 93% chance. How was it written in, Python, or was it written in, Julia? How the applications will be actually transforming or shifting their, approach from Python to Julia. So all these things you can give, the startup that wants such type of critical knowledge gap can put it on. So this thing we did in case of GDPR. We actually conducted a beautiful and hugely successful GDPR webinar through our Cybersecurity Center of Excellence. And post that, we actually opened our Cybersecurity Center of Excellence's website with a blog. Like whosoever wants data privacy inputs, we will be supporting them. So huge number of queries started coming, and Vibhas Chatterjee and others, our own law officers, they have been sitting together and answering them. Right now, after nearly 6-7 months, it has come down to a trickle, but actually initially there were a huge number of requests, and it was immensely successful. And we actually have a detailed study on how we did that. Very simple, without spending a single dime. We conducted a beautiful seminar, and that too a webinar, and post that we collected requests and we attended to that. And through that, actually, I hope more than 50 organizations or companies or people have been attended. This is how we can do. This is also crowdsourcing. Vibhas Chatterjee was one of the sources. Our law officer was one of the sources. Like me, I contributed in a little bit of this thing. Kaushik, one of my colleagues, he also contributed. So we were, all of us were, sources of that crowd. And through crowdsourcing, we pulled together our collective resource and knowledge and filled up the critical gaps and sent it across to them.
Another question, very pertinent question you said about GDPR, data governance and others. West Bengal, if you see, is a huge repository of data. And over so many years, we have data about population, data about market, data about consumers, so much of data, and data is a new oil. Is there any plan to share this data so that using this data, a lot of businesses can churn out new insights, and that can be an avenue of startups? Is there any plan from that?
Thank you. But before, placidly discussing about all these things for the last 16 minutes, when Neeraj Chopra won the gold medal, what I thought about? I thought about that the gold medal was the outcome of the e-waste recycle in Japan.
Yes.
So then what I thought about? I thought about the greatest problems that this coming generation will face about e-waste disposal. Then when I looked into my own home, I found that all four of us, we are using one mobile phone, one laptop, and a number of devices not working properly. And each one of us is very sure that we would be using that device, but in reality, we never can use because we don't have time to take it to the proper person, get it corrected, repaired, or more so, like up to the requirement of my own requirement, it is not required. So ultimately, slowly and steadily, without being used, they are being converted into electronic waste. And what is happening through that? Collectively, we are increasing the toxicity level in the home of four where we live. So what could we have done? We could have just, given it to somebody who requires the most. And if it is beyond repair, we could have actually given it to PROs and other organizations who would be recycling, but we don't. So, from my own experience, this was actually what had triggered the necessity of inventarization of the e-waste in the state. And when we started doing that 6 months back, the greatest problem we faced on two counts. One is the list with which we actually started inventarizing, and that is not the list that is, relevant today, number one. So new devices are coming every day. And the number two is that, the awareness is that lacks. And not only that, nobody shares data with others. Like, the online sale of all these electronic devices is not shared by the online portals. There is a collective nationwide data but not a regional data. So the state cannot actually inventorize without knowing how many devices are sold through this plethora of online places. So we have been, approaching all these electronic, marketplaces, but to no avail. We have not, we were unable to actually, come to this thing. Then we understood that sharing of knowledge and sharing of data is the basic thing, and that egged us, or rather, that corroborated our decision of opening up our public transactional data for the MSMEs and the startups. And we brought out our guideline that is called Public Transactional Data Sharing Guidelines 2020 last December. It is available in our website, that is the portal of the department. And there, all the data that is already available in the data center, which are dated, that means they are dead. They are taped, they are shifted, they are not in live forms. They are dead. And those data, which are already having, they are there with the departments. All this data can be placed on an anonymized platform after properly anonymizing them. And from that platform, any MSME and startup can start downloading. And there is an opportunity of huge employment and generation of revenue out of this, because these are real data, live data, anonymized data, which can be analyzed and utilized to different applications. And those applications will be actually corroborated, and there will be no problem of POCs. So this data will ensure POCs of all these applications. They need not actually run from pillar to post, from this department, that Babu to that officer. No, not required at all. And there is the necessity of auditor. That means the anonymized data is properly anonymized to actually anonymize the personally identifiable information. So you cannot, from the data that I will share, come back to me. If you have Sanjay Kumar Das, it does not give me, because there are n number of Sanjay Kumar Das. The person who cannot play cricket, and the person who used to play beautiful cricket, and the bosom friend of Maharaj. So, you have two Sanjay Kumar Dases before you right now at this point of time. One is actually trying to, figure the biopic of Maharaj, and one is talking to you. So, this Sanjay Kumar Das is unable to become the PII, because it is not the PII until you have the DOB and the other things, or phone number per se, anything, or where the person works, or as if he is the person who is talking on this platform. So this is what PII. So anonymizing is completely changing and transforming without actually disturbing the story. So the story corroborates the applications, and the applications become unicorns. So data are new fuel, and they are required by MSMEs and startups as well as industries. And this platform, after proper anonymization, this will give out without any cost. And the government has taken a revolutionary, step towards that. And we are definitely, we are welcoming, everybody to come and work with us to create this platform, create the anonymizer, create an auditing, platform too.
Fantastic. Another question, Mr. Das, is that there are a lot of new digital thinking, especially in manufacturing, 3D printing. What are facilities available? Otherwise, I'll put the question that we have created a lot of data centers and offices in Siliguri, in Kolani and others. Work from home has defined the way we work. What are the plans of utilizing them? And can we create some facilities there where again MSMEs can come and do some work, POCs, or they can do it? And if you can also say that what are the facilities available today also?
Thank you, Dr. Sen, for asking me this question. And once again, going into this question, I would like to tell one story that, the Audi that was owned by, Ravi Shastri, he sold that Audi to a person of Kolkata. It changed hands and came to a person in Kolkata. And, that person actually was running that, and suddenly that Audi, some parts of that Audi actually were required to be replaced. And then the whole problem started. Requisition were sent to different places like Germany and other places. I don't know where Audi had, or right now have companies or their production centers. But in India at that point of time, there was none. So I was told that that person waited for nearly 2.5 years for those, parts to come. And those parts were placed and all. And it was found that by that time, due to wear and tear, the gap was increased. So now the greatest challenge came, how to change the other place. And, I don't understand, but somehow those parts were not properly fitted, could not be fitted properly. So when I think about 3D, I think about assistive, production. So how production is right now, had there been a 3D printer, those images could have been sent. And here, understanding the proper shape and size and fitting it, they could have retrofitted those things by printing it. This was the necessity, so felt by the industry and specifically MSMEs, specifically in the domain of, jewelry and other, fine items and all. So this necessity had been felt by the government also in the Department of IT. So the IT department had taken up, an effort to set up a 3D printing center through an innovation center with Fujisoft Vara. And Wavell Fujisoft Vara is an, excellent setup that we have. We have many 3D printers of different specifications and capable of printing on multiple, types, like different types of materials can be printed. I'm not very technically qualified on this domain to speak about, but what I have understood that different materials could be not only plastic or not only this, that, lot of different materials could be printed here. And it is mind-boggling. So this place is there in Newtown, Wavell's Fujisoft Vara. Any MSME, and it was set up actually with assistance from MSME department also, the Ministry Department of Industry, Commerce and Enterprise. They are also an equal partner. So any MSME, any industry, any startup can utilize that. And a good thing is slowly and steadily they are getting these facilities are getting used. So if there is a necessity of 3D printing, don't even flutter your eyes. Go straight to Wavell Fujisoft Vara Center and start using it, because usage is what the government wants, and government wants their full utilization, not only partial. So this is a great setup, and it is open to everybody. Actually, pandemic has dampened the spirit, and we were unable to actually promote it through this, because there are different austerity measures going on, and we are very sincere about spending. So as webinar does not cost a dime on our part, so this is the best place where we can promote it. So I would request everybody, please come to Wavell's Fujisoft Vara and utilize its facilities. It's nearly, nearly free of cost, you can see, and outstanding facilities. Thank you.
Look, Mr. Das, today I have learned so many facilities are available by government. Is there a catalog or something available where we can
You know, beautiful thing, beautiful thing. For the last 5 years that I'm here, we have been trying to do that. And first of all, we are very bad in promoting because we do not have a promotional budget. Consider the state of Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, uh, Telangana. They have a society dedicated for promotion, IT promotion, society for IT promotion. Even I was told that North Indian states are also having such. I don't know. I have extensively traversed this part of the country, that means the south, this thing, in search of best practices. So I saw them, I met them, I found out that they are having a yearly budget more than our department's budget. So you can understand on promotion. And we do not have a single dime on promotion. And Ms. Rai Chaudhary will definitely support me on this count. That, even supporting this BCCI program, we are very, 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 miser. So on that count, I can tell you that, if BCCI and other companies, they can come together and we can sit together, have a brainstorm, we will support with every information. If we can come out with a detailed, brochure, a digital brochure on what facilities really we are offering at various, stages, at various facets, this will be an outstanding activity. And Dr. Sen, I would be so loving to do that. And we have been trying to, but this was never our priority. So it was going back on the list of priorities, and we were unable to. Really, it is required. I understand that. And I'm sorry.
And last question, Mr. Das, is that, is there any helpline number or any way that if MSMEs want some help and others, or where do they contact? How do they?
Yes, MSMEs per se has a definite department for this, Department of MSME. Then there is a Department of Industry. And IT department is a very small department. And everyone knows that definitely IT department does not have a helpline number because it is not required at all. During the pandemic, you also would definitely vie for that. And Ms. Rai Chaudhary will also do that. Because during the first phase of pandemic, when everything was helter-skelter, we had this, this helpline number set up overnight, and it actually supported more than 150 companies during the pandemic by setting up their offices, getting them clearances and all these things, and definitely with all of your support. So that helpline number is right now providing support to the Karmabhumi effort, and but we are very easily accessible. Our email IDs and the phone numbers are already there on the portal, and we are a very, very small department. Anybody can come, and all doors are open, and anybody can come, walk in, ask, give a call. Just before your this session, somebody, Mr. Jha, he called up from, I hope Mumbai or Delhi. They had already set up this data center in somewhere in Ultadanga for the last 2-3 years, and they have been expanding it right now since last 2-3 months. And as they have recently gone through the data center policy, which was passed by the state cabinet on 6th of September, they were very eager to utilize the incentives provided therein with regards to power, with regards to this thing, stamp duty and all these things. So they were very, very eager to actually take benefit of that, and that's why he was calling me. So I was not bothered when he called up on my mobile number. I understood that in today's time, if you properly Google, Google knows everything. So we are accessible round the clock. Anytime anybody can approach me, approach us, approach the department. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Das. It was really, really enriching. And I learned a lot, and I'm sure MSMEs have also learned a lot. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you both to Mr. Sanjay Sen and Mr. Sanjay Kumar Das. It was really a very informative and insightful session. So we will close this session with a story of one of our MSME IT from homegrown IT company. And then the next session is at 5:45 IST on startup stories, which will start with co-founder and group CFO of Policy Bazaar, Mr. Alok Bansal, and Mr. Vijay Menon of Executive Director TAI Global, with our in conversation with our chairperson and advisory leader of PwC, Mr. Arnob Basu. And so see you at 5:45 for startup stories, but before that we will see what a homegrown IT company has meant.